ruffly skirts and puffy sleeves, fussy frills and rows of ribbons. Grandma Lula dressed little Mae all fancy, like a tiny doll. Mae didn't want to be a doll. She wanted to go outside and play in the dirt. But in those fancy clothes, Mae told a beautiful story. She offered hope during hard days. By the early 1900s, when Mae was a girl, slavery had officially ended in the United States. But new segregation laws kept Black people apart and unequal. Instead of liberty and justice, Black citizens like Mae and her family faced violence and oppression. Little Mae, in her ruffles and ribbons, brought joy in the midst of much suffering. Mae's small hometown was in the segregated South. Vidalia, Georgia, did not have many opportunities for Black families to live their best lives and do what they dreamed. But as Mae grew, she made her own ways to have fun. At school, Mae wrote plays, and she was also the director and star. She designed and sewed fancy clothes for her dolls. Mae made joys, but sorrow came. Mae's parents died when she was only 14, and she and her younger siblings went to live with her grandmother. In the 1920s, lingering turmoil from World War I brought destruction to the world stage, and the Jazz Age was not jumping for everyone. Black families faced more hardship and pain, and children like Mae had to work like grown-ups. One brother shined shoes. Another worked as a babysitter for a white family. Mae was in charge of her younger sisters and brothers, so she learned how to take good care of other people. Like many young Black women of the South in the 1920s and 1930s, Mae became a teacher. She worked in a one-room schoolhouse with a pot-bellied stove. She was only a teenager. Some of her students were very young, and others were much older, even older than Mae. But she taught them all. Mae was also a newspaper writer, entertaining readers with stories of fancy and fun parties and events in the community. She found ways to celebrate the beauty of her neighbors' spirits, even when there was ugliness and hurt in their lives. During those days, thousands of Black people fled the persecution and cruelty of their segregated Southern hometowns for integrated Northern cities. Mae was one of those who resisted the voices of oppression that said there was no way out. Mae decided to make a way. With ideas in her head and those doll sewing skills in her hands, she traveled by train from Georgia all the way up north to Chicago, Illinois. At the Chicago School of Millinery, people made many kinds of head coverings, and lots of people needed them. In those days, hats on heads were as common as shoes on feet.